what's going on? Guys, my name's Dynasty. What I got for y'all today is another Mortal Kombat 11 video. Got for you guys a pretty interesting topic for today. Now, dating back to Mortal Kombat X, us seeing Tremor become a DLC character kind of changed the landscape of how NetherRealm Studios could introduce characters and make them playable characters on the roster. Now, what I mean by that is essentially dating back to Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Tremor was simply just like a sub-boss, only featured in that game, was never inside the original first couple games, never inside the 3D era games, and out of the blue, out of nowhere, became a DLC character that nobody really saw coming because, like I mentioned, he was such a minor character that really hasn't played any significance in a very long time, up until more recently with him becoming a DLC character. So with that idea in mind, I put together a list of 10 characters I would love to see reintroduced inside a game like Mortal Kombat 11. Now, the majority of these characters you've probably never heard of. They're so minor, but I still think they have a ton of potential. So with that said, let's break this down and let's get into it. So first things first, the first character is none other than NoFace. Now, NoFace is a member of Kano's Black Dragon, and he was also showcased like Tremor inside of Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Now, he's someone with no nose, no ears, no hair, essentially the perfect character to call NoFace because you guessed that he has no face whatsoever. Throw on the fact that his skin is super pale, almost like he's albino. This dude looks super creepy. Now, as for weapons, he does use a flamethrower, and he has dynamite sticks around his chest. So if he was in a game like MK11, safe to say he'd have some projectiles, or he's probably tossing some dynamite sticks towards his opponents. You have some flamethrower moves in the past using characters like Sector, so flamethrowers not out of the realm of possibilities. I like it. I think he's a pretty interesting character, like I mentioned, such a minute character from back in the day, but I think he still has a bunch of untapped potential. Now, the second character is a character called Grum. Now, Grum is a 6-armed Shokin warrior. Yes, not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-armed Shokin from Outworld. Now, initially, he was only inside the comic books, but I would love to see a new approach to the Shokin race. Like I mentioned, this dude has 6 arms instead of 4. You thought that Goro was on steroids? No, that's baby Goro in comparison to this guy Grum, who has 6 gigantic arms. That's never been seen before inside a Mortal Kombat game. Kitaro, Goro, they wish they were this guy Grum. Could you imagine the fatalities? Like, what? So yeah, a 6-armed Shokin warrior, Grum. I really wish this got implemented sometime in the future. Now, the third character on my list is none other than Belloc. Now, Belloc was initially meant to be for Mortal Kombat Gold, but he wasn't included. He was meant to be a secret character in the game as well. He's essentially a demon with like horns and some spikes on his armor. He looks pretty intimidating. This last summer, I did a pretty extensive video breaking down everything we know about Belloc. So if you guys are curious and want to know more about this character, link down below. But pretty much, Belloc was a character that was made by the company porting over MK4 to the Dreamcast for Mortal Kombat Gold. Midway Games didn't want to take the responsibility of somebody else's creation, so they canceled the character. By the time they canceled the character, though, this company doing the port sent out images of Belloc to, I think it was Game Informer, and that's essentially the only reason why we know that Belloc even exists out there in the world. So yeah, like I mentioned, I did a whole video, linked down below, definitely worth watching. But Belloc was a cool looking character. Dude looks pretty kick-ass. A shame he was not inside of Gold. Speaking of Mortal Kombat 4 and Mortal Kombat Gold, at the number 4 spot is Water God. Now, Water God is what his name suggests, the god of water inside the Mortal Kombat universe. Now, he first debuted back inside of Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero mythologies as a boss character, and he was one of the 4 guardian gods assigned by Raiden to protect Shinnok's amulet inside the original timeline. Now, this dude would have a bunch of water-based moves, kind of like Rain, but on steroids, because this guy is essentially the god of water. His name is Water God. So just thinking of like all the water type moves he could have. If I don't get Rain, give me maybe Water God. I think it's funny too. He kind of looks like Dr. Manhattan kind of, and everybody wanted him inside of Injustice too. So I thought that was also kind of funny. Now, he is also a god. Don't see gods too often inside the Mortal Kombat universe, at least inside like the actual games. We'll love to see something like this because we've never seen a character that was just based on water other than Rain, and even then, Rain gets no love. Yo, Ed Boon, I know you hate Rain, Don't tell me you hate the water version of Dr. Manhattan. So there you go, my number 4 spot, Water God. Making our way to the number 5 spot, Komodai. Now, Komodai is a male Sauron just like Reptile, but unlike Reptile, he's meant to be more of an honorable warrior, bowing before his matches and showing some respect to his opponents. So far, though, he's only ever appeared inside Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realms, and he just popped out of like a random portal from another realm and started fighting with all the guys at Earthrealm. So that's all we know about Komodai, and I figured, hey, we only always see Reptile constantly fighting for his race. I am the only Sauron left, I'm lonely, I want to bring back my people. If for some reason Reptile ever gets replaced by anybody, if it's not going to be like Chameleon, why not Komodai? This guy is an honorable version of Reptile. Hopefully he'll stand up for himself and not just be a pushover, because Reptile always seems to be the underdog and is always just a pushover, and it sucks because I love the character, but he never has any significance. At least Komodai seems to be a bit more daring, if you will. So there you go, Komodai, pretty much Reptile, but a little bit more honorable, if you will. The number 6 spot belongs to Tashia, a member of the Black Dragon who was also first introduced back inside of Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Just like Tremor, she was also showcased inside the most recent MKX comics, and as for like fighting styles, she's always wielding dual swords, which I think is super cool, super unique, because they're not just like super small baby daggers, they're like actual gigantic katanas or something. Like, they are humongous. Out of everybody inside my list, I do think Tashia probably has the best chance, just because indeed she was part of the MKX comics and part of MK Special Forces. Just like Tremor, Tremor eventually became a DLC character. Tashia, I think, is a very unique female. Her weapon choice, the way she looks, I think she fits the bill for a Mortal Kombat character. So hopefully in the future, Tashia gets a chance, because I would love to see her in action in an actual Mortal Kombat game. Now moving on to the 7th spot on my list. Number 7 belongs to Monster. Monster is a character who first appeared inside of Mortal Kombat Deception's Conquest mode, and he's a character who's claiming to be the real champion of the Elder Gods. Now, shortly after challenging Shujinko to prove his strength, he gets his ass kicked and he kind of just dies. So we still don't know if he really was the real champion of the Elder Gods, considering that Shujinko was decepted and he was not the real champion of the Elder Gods. Interestingly enough, too, he's rocking the exact same armor that Scorpion wears when he too becomes champion himself. So gotta thank Shujinko for fucking things up. Because of that, we'll never know if indeed he is the true champion of the Elder Gods. Now, as like an appearance standpoint for Monster, I think he looks so sick. Seeing those gigantic horns on his back, seeing his mask, seeing the spine, or like whatever that is, like the ribcage and the spine and his centerpiece there, his chest. This dude looks so damn scary. Now, people think this is probably just Scorpion in the future on steroids. I think it's a standalone character, but we'll probably never know unless we see him in the future again. But yes, Monster is a character I think that had a bunch of potential. For him to be chosen by the Elder Gods to be the real champion, this dude is probably a pretty badass character. So Monster, really hope we see you soon. The number 8 spot belongs to both Wind and Rain. Now, they're sisters who are servants of Raiden inside of the original Mortal Kombat comics. And for me, we've seen Noob Smoke before as one single character. What about Wind and Rain? Like I mentioned, they're sisters. They pretty much fight the exact same way. They look the exact same. I think they might even be twins. So what about a female version of Noob Smoke with twins? I think that's a pretty unique and interesting approach that we've never seen before inside a Mortal Kombat game, especially because they're females. Let's show the females some love here, and I mean, for them to be servants of Raiden, that obviously means that they're kind of capable of kicking some ass, because Raiden isn't going to just pick anybody. So yeah, Wind, Rain, Ed Boon, use characters like this. Now moving on to the number 9 spot. Number 9 belongs to Rutsu. Now, he was only featured inside of Mortal Kombat 9's Challenge Tower in a challenge called Clarity, and according to the text inside the game, Rutsu is a demon spirit that's harassed Nightwolf's ancestors for years. Now, what's crazy is he kind of resembles a character who's probably part of the Brotherhood of Shadow. He looks like Noob Saibot with like no clothes on, just a gigantic black figure with glowing purple eyes. Looks like a shadow of some kind. Apparently he's a demon, and if he has the ability to harass Nightwolf's ancestors, this dude's probably something spiritual, something evil, probably could have a pretty kick-ass origin story. So I think NetherRealm, if they really wanted to, they could expand on this character with a name like Rutu as well, super memorable. I think that this guy has a lot of untapped potential, and maybe in the future they get around to using him. Maybe explain why Nightwolf is still a Revenant. Maybe Rutu is like possessed Nightwolf as a Revenant. I don't know. They could think of something with Mortal Kombat. They always do. Now, the final spot on my list belongs to Jataka. Now, Jataka is a member of Quan Chi's Brotherhood of Shadow, who was first introduced inside of Mortal Kombat's Sub-Zero mythology, so way back in the day. Now, people think that she is a demon just like Serena, and she uses Quan Chi's magic to kind of appear like a human, which kind of makes some sense. And she wields a laser sword, yes, a laser sword that can shoot out projectiles that are blue orbs of energy. Now, inside of the current timeline, we see Serena kind of become a good guy for a change, and she helps out the good guys inside the MKX story, where I think Jataka could be introduced for like MK11. Maybe she plays the opposite role that Serena, plays. Maybe Serena has a gigantic role this time around. Maybe she's featured more throughout the story, and she has an interaction with Jataka where it's like, hey, Jataka, I've been where you're at. Like, you're underneath the control of somebody, obviously not Quan Chi anymore because Quan Chi's dead. Like, hey, I can help you. Listen to me. There's hope. And maybe there's like that small interaction. And in the future, Jataka has a bigger role, just like we see Serena hopefully having a big role with MK11. So yes, Jataka, I think, is a character like Serena that has a bunch of potential, especially because she has a fucking laser sword. Like, what? Oh, laser sword? We need more of that MK. Anyways, that is all I got for y'all today. Number 1, NoFace. Number 2, Grum. Number 3, Belloc. Number 4, Water God. Number 5, Komodai. Number 6, Tashia. Number 7, Monster. Number 8, Wind and Rain. Number 9, Rutu. And number 10, Jataka. That is my list of 10 characters I would love to see reintroduced inside the current timeline in a game like MK11. What do you guys think of my list? What characters do you want to see make a comeback? I'm super curious, of course. If you guys did like the video, please take 1 second, drop a like on it, subscribe for some more MK11 content. Until next time, been your host, Dynasty. You guys take care, stay safe. See you guys later. Peace.
You deserve more exposure, man, you underrated. To all the Dynasty haters, promise you'll love him later. Y'all gon' react like he did when he seen the trailer. But hold up, let me hit y'all with a twist. Wait, I'm Sub-Zero, the rap game is the Lin Kuei. You see, I've been a fan of Dynasty for years now. GTA, MK, and Justice, I'm still down. Rapper meets gamer, I wonder how y'all